the reigning champion of the IndyCar Series, up for Driver of the Year.
Yes.
Tonight in the ESPYs. Good to see you, Scott Dixon.
Thanks for having me.
You
It's
bet.
great to
Absolutely.
be here. Thank you.
Do you have your suit all picked out? What's going down tonight, Scott?
I was just going to wear shorts tonight. I think beach
By the way,
attire is
that would be great.
That should be good, right?
I don't
Especially
know.
with my nice white ginger skin. You know, I think it's going to look good. You know, I'm going to get sunburned. I'm going to be pink.
I think the white ginger skin short ESPYs look is something that's a rarity. I would go for it if I
I think it
were
will get some attention.
For sure.
I'm going to do it. Maybe just underwear. We'll
Okay,
see. I might go with the.
You know what?
tidy
That's
whities.
just another tidy whitey ginger white skin ESPN experience. It reminds me of my 1997 ESPN2. Oh no, that's not.
I think everybody needs to see that.
Everybody does.
Everybody does.
But so this is your 6th ESPY nomination?
Yeah, it's been a lot, but 0 wins.
What's
you know?
going on?
I don't know. I feel lucky to be nominated. You know, I think it's
That's very nice.
you
Yes,
know,
it is. It is. Well, I mean, that means you've. To be nominated, there's many times it means you've won
some
a lot
things,
of championships,
which has
right?
been great.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know, it's like coming second a lot of the time. You definitely want to get that top spot. But it's a tough crowd. It's always a tough crowd. You know, the ESPY is always a huge event and one that I've been to a few times before. But yeah, I think with Lewis Hamilton,
yeah, he's in it. You going
Bush
up
and
Kyle Busch and Steve Torrance.
Yeah, Steve Torrance.
You can't lose to a drag racer, though, Scott. Let's be honest, right?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. You only number one is the only one that counts, right? You
I
don't see where it
understand this.
falls.
And you know, I don't mean to put you in a difficult position, but I might just. I mean, in all honesty, what driving is there? What I mean, you want to talk about driving when you're there has to be obviously some steering when you come to drag racing, but compared to what you do, I mean, you can't compare these things. That'd be like That'd be like me when I'm up against somebody who hosts a show that's like 3 minutes long. I do 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
If we get nominated for the same category, I'd be like, I'm honored to be nominated with this person, but I'll be like, this just come on, it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
I think everything has its purpose and difficulties, right? Which drag racing, you know, I know a lot of the drag races, and it is tough. You know, it is tough. It's a lot of power. I've never driven one actually, so I can't even really comment.
You've never done that.
We in 2003, I nearly did a swap with Larry Dixon. We both won the championship the same year. And
no relation, right?
No relation.
Okay.
And actually, I think Chip at the time things didn't meet up and we weren't able to do it. But I'd love to drive one of those things. What was it, 8,000, 10,000 horsepower, something crazy? So a little more than the IndyCar. But yeah, you're just driving straight. Right?
Just driving straight. You don't have to make any turns of any sort.
Well, I think you got to correct a little bit.
There's no again, and I don't. Are we dragging on drag racing right now, Chris? Is that the problem right now? But
no, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Well, I mean, because again, I mean, you have
driver on driver crime.
You have road courses.
Yeah,
You know
road courses, short track ovals, street courses,
of course,
super speedways.
Right.
IndyCar, I think, is the most diverse series in the world. So yeah, I love the difference between the categories, or sorry, not categories, but circuits that we get to go to.
Scott Dixon here. He's up for Best Driver of the Year award tonight at the ESPYs, and a fellow Honda individual right here.
So
on the
please
Rich
vote.
Eisen
You can
show.
still vote today.
Can you still vote today?
You can still vote today.
Okay.
I believe. So,
Chris, can we click on Scott Dixon?
On it.
Let's do that, and let's give him our vote right
Thank
here
you.
for sure. Of course, no doubt about it. And who's giving out the award tonight? Who's giving you? Do you know who's presenting your award tonight?
I don't actually. I think they typically only do the presentation maybe to 5 or 10 of the categories.
What are you talking
about?
And
then you kind of just
this won't be live presented tonight. This is like an other receiving vote sort of situation.
I think you kind of just see it go across the screen.
No, we can't have that.
Yeah, so maybe.
So you don't even have a speech prepared for tonight?
No speech. I don't think you're allowed to do speeches, man. I know.
What is that?
I thought
all
long
about?
and hard about that one. You know, after being nominated 6 times and 0 wins, you know, I thought it was
Scott
at least
Dixon,
going to get 2 or 3 minutes of
Scott
fame.
Dixon, if you're showing up tonight in shorts and you win, you are storming that stage.
I'm getting up there.
You're getting up there and just say, you know, just get out of the way. Who, you know, obviously, you know.
Probably need to come up with something.
The host will be probably standing right there.
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah,
Tracy Morgan will be right there. Just
Yeah.
maybe Tracy is going to announce it. If it's going to be, hey, here's the winner.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe I
wrong.
could help him. Didn't he just crash his Bugatti or something, right? He didn't?
Yeah, he did. He did.
Or somebody
Seconds
crashed it,
after buying it.
Yeah,
He
was
was
like 30
driving it
minutes or
off the
something.
lot.
Did he really?
And got
I
into a
didn't-
fender bender.
I didn't hear about
like
this.
a $2 million car.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I think somebody ran into him, maybe.
Probably.
I don't know.
Scott Dixon here on the Rich Eisen Show. What is the most ornate car you've ever driven?
Well, I love my Acura MDX. Obviously,
sure.
It's a fantastic car.
I love. Let's check that box.
Yeah.
In the history of your life.
I've driven a range.
But I didn't realize I might have been stepping into a sponsorship black hole right there.
Well, there you go. But I don't know. Like it's hard once you drive a proper car, right? Like I've driven Formula One, I've driven an IndyCar, and those. And once you get to the road, but I don't know. I've been part of the Ford GT program with their new car that just came out in 16.
I mean, just driving as a human being on the planet, like going to the store. If you ever, or somebody, a friend of yours had an insane car, and you're just like, I just got behind the wheel and drive it. No,
the Senna was quite fun. The McLaren Senna. I don't know. I drove a 1906 Dirac. That was like a tractor, man. But I think it was a 16-liter engine. It had like 3 speeds.
What is it like driving in something built in 1906?
It was crazy, scary actually. Scary. So you're sitting very high, almost in a tractor. The whole thing is basically just an engine. It's got very skinny tires, and I drove it in New Zealand in the Leadfoot Festival, which is a hill climb race. But it had a ton of torque, power. But the hardest thing was that naturally you want to brake with your foot, but it had a handbrake. So you're changing gears, and you got this big lever thing that clicks down, and you got a big handbrake, and then when you want to let it off, you got to pull it back and away you go. But it was crazy. But you got a big old wheel. It was fun.
Did you reflexively reach for a seatbelt and just realize
you're sliding across the bench seat? Like it was definitely an interesting thing. So I wouldn't say that was the most ornate thing I've driven.
Sure,
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that absolutely.
That's something you got to drive.
What do you like being driven, Scott Dixon? What do you like? When you are not in the front seat.
Actually. I'm pretty quiet.
You don't,
as long as it's not my wife. My wife can be pretty dangerous on the road.
All right, let's get into this a little bit.
So,
what do you mean?
Well, she is an amazing person, but has a very small attention span, which I think is very bad or very poor for driving on the roads.
Okay.
So she'll notice a bird that's flying by, or a squirrel. No. She'll crash a road car just to miss a squirrel. Right off a cliff, probably.
Yeah, when it all comes down, every life is important, and it's just a hunk of metal, Scott. When it all comes down to it, right?
As long as our kids aren't in the car, I guess that's okay.
How old are your kids?
Probably just turned 10, actually, on the 5th of July. Tilly's 7, so yeah, they're 2 little girls
and 7.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they have any interest in driving competitively, you think?
They hadn't really. Tilly, our youngest, is into horses, but Poppy has been asking a lot lately. So I've taken her indoor go-karting a couple of times, and she's thoroughly enjoyed it, actually,
now,
which is dangerous.
Horses, you might have found the one part of the, I guess, sporting world that's more expensive than driving race cars like you.
Yeah,
I would think.
We're just dipping our toes in it, We're just dipping our toes. We have lots of plastic. There's a brand that starts with S or something that the toys.
Okay,
and
sure. Spirit? Is it Spirit? The horse is Spirit? Okay.
I can't remember. Okay, but yeah, she has probably every model that's ever been made. Shellac.
Okay, very good. If we could just stick to that, let me just give you a little bit of advice. If you could stick to that, that'd be a good thing.
Yes, yeah. We have one horse, and it's my wife's horse.
Okay.
She bought it as a retired racehorse.
Okay.
And was meant to do, things on it. Mm-hmm. And then it got injured, and now we just have like another large pet dog that is quite expensive, to board and feed, and this thing I think is going to live forever too, So
let's knock on wood
it's
for
going to
that.
be pricey.
Scott Dixon here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you go from here to Toronto? Are you going straight to Toronto?
Toronto tonight. Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are here for the ESPYs. You're going to get that. You're going to get the award. You're going to storm the stage. You're going to shove Tracy Morgan out of the way. You're going to grab the microphone. You're going to thank your wife and her short attention span, and your children, and your whole Honda, and you'll think about Ganassi Racing. I'll read off your
PNC
Bank
right
reading off your shirt,
and
then you're going straight to Toronto.
Yeah, we start with Media Day on Thursday. We're defending race champions there, so
yes, you are.
Hopefully
in 4th place right now for the overall
championship.
Yep.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a rough year. We definitely made some gains kind of after the 500. We got caught up in a crash there, and the 500 is double points, so it's very easy to lose traction in the championship. But we fought back strong, got the win in Detroit, and then we got caught up in an accident in Texas, and had problems in Road America. So yeah, I think we've shown a lot more speed than where we're sitting right now. But it's time to. It's make or break right now. We've got to start winning some races.
Sure, but you're going to a spot where you have won before. I mean, what is that like where you go to a spot? Do you feel more comfortable behind? I mean, it's the car, it's the wheel, it's a track, but just the fact that it's in a spot where you've won before, is there a mental aspect to this thing?
I think in every sport or kind of in any line, I think when you go in with a lot more confidence into a place that has been a proven winner, I think for us and for our team, we've won there a lot, so it helps. But you can't dwell on that or rest on that. With any sport or any series too, it keeps pushing forward, and the competition right now is just through the roof. So it's definitely not going to be easy. But yeah, it's great to go back to Toronto, and the first goal is to go back and try and defend last year's win.
Well, I hope you have a nice carry-on item for tonight's flight.
Yeah, that'd be cool, right? I'm just going to carry it on, my tidy whities. I'm going to be rocking, man. I'm going to be rocking.
Well, I would suggest you...
I might get removed.
Put something on before you get on the plane. I mean, do what you wish for the ESPYs before you get on a plane. An international flight.
That's true.
For
That's
sure.
True.
Doing the reverse Kawhi Leonard, going from Los Angeles to Toronto. Scott Dixon, good luck tonight, sir, and good luck throughout the rest of the way.
Very much appreciated.
Brothers in Honda right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Scott Dixon at ScottDixon9 on both Twitter and Instagram right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.